To discuss this further, let's speak to Fahad ibne Masood. He's an aviation subject matter analyst and joins us from Muscat in Oman. Thank you so much for your time. Given what we know so far, what do you think happened during this plane crash?
Well, I would contribute this to fog of war in a scenario where there is a lot of bullets, guns, and missiles being fired in a conflict zone. This is something which is bound to happen. I believe there was a NOTAM that was identified for this as well. The challenge that goes across in such a complicated situation is which aircraft to shoot down and which not to. In the case of the Grozny event that resulted into this air crash, the airspace over the city and the airport was being defended by a Panzer S-1 integrated layered air defense system, which has both guns and missile technology on board, medium range as well. So this is a scenario where things could have turned up more ugly, where the whole aircraft was lost, but lucky for everyone who has survived. The air defense system was active. The Grozny airspace was being defended by the Russian missile air defense system. And in the bargain, the aircraft had some hydraulic loss. That's my learned opinion on it. And the aircraft had power. So the sinusoidal flight that it maintained till it hit the ground near in Kazakhstan, near the airport, about 2.5 nautical miles, was the end of it. The pilots did an excellent job in maintaining a flight sustainable for reaching across the Mediterranean, the Caspian Sea, and in the bargain saving so many people. Sad, but that is how it has.
Did the pilot, you say he did an excellent job, but were there any other options available to the pilot instead of landing in Kazakhstan, perhaps choosing somewhere else? The Russians had said they'd given him other options.
The alternate airport is always decided before the takeoff, considering any flight like that a captain or a first officer flies. So in this situation, it, in my opinion, would have been pre-decided by the captain. God forbid any emergency takes place at Grozny, any bird hit, any scenario which would force them not to land, including a bad weather condition, fog sort of a scenario, they would have taken it to Aktau in Kazakhstan. So in my opinion, a plan B, which was executed by the captain and the first officer, was done an excellent job once again till the very last few minutes short of the runway.
Fahad, is this going to affect other planes going through Russian airspace, especially as the war with Ukraine continues?
I believe 4 airlines have already negated for about a month or so flights inbound to Grozny. This includes from UAE as well as Azerbaijan and a few other states. So in flights, yes, they will have to weigh and measure the risks that are there associated with the conflict zone being active. And obviously, security is paramount for everyone, and safety of the passengers become even more important in certain circumstances.
How long do you think an investigation will take? Because there seem to be several investigations between the Russians doing their own criminal investigation to the Azerbaijanis. So how long before we get possibly a concrete answer on what really happened here?
Well, a good investigation takes anything between 9 to 12 months. That is the standard number for it. But initial preliminary investigation or a report will come out in a few months under the international investigation team. This would be resulting into some truth, if not the whole truth coming out. As we understand, first rule of war, people die. Second rule of war, truth dies with it. So the whole scenario is rather in shades of gray instead of black and white. What has happened aftermath of this incident? The President Putin has apologized to President Aliyev in Azerbaijan, and they've said, Russians have said they've initiated an investigation. This will come up with our reality, not the reality. In my opinion, an international team that incorporates people from Civil Aviation Authority of Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, as well as Russia, need to sit down, put their heads together, and find out what exactly went wrong. The multinational team will give a true image of how things have happened in the very last minute of this accident.
Fahad ibne Masood in Muscat, an aviation subject matter analyst. Great to get your take on this. Thank you very much.